and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my part 1 Orilium vlog. It is the 1st of April, so of course you would start playing with that the moment I start recording. So essentially what I've done is, rather than pick a calling, I've done what I did with the last Magical Readathon, where I attempt all of the prompts and then see which subjects I'm best at, so that I can then find out what my calling is that way. So it's a bit more of a surprise, because I find if I aim for something, I will either try really hard or not try at all. And this kind of negates that, because like it means that if I'm like, oh, not feeling a book or whatever, then that's just not the subject for me, and therefore if the calling needs it, then it is what it is. So I've made a whole spreadsheet of all the different callings that as a House of Arcane I can apply for, or could be my calling, and then I have organised all the prompts into the different callings in a spreadsheet, so that the ones that have the highest I can prioritise. So my week 1, I have 5 books that I have to read this week because they come up the most in different things. And then next week I will add more books to my list, basically for next week, different targets. So I'm just going to go through the ones that I have on my list for this week. The first one, the prompt that came up the most was spells and incantations, and that was either a collection of short stories or essays. So I've got a Tyranny of Petticoats, which was gifted to me by Priscilla for Christmas, so thank you, Priscilla. This is going to be my first read, basically, and this is a collection of short stories by a whole range of different people that are all kind of, well, it just says 15 stories of belles, bank robbers and other badass girls, so it's all like historical fiction and kind of mixed in with that, but it's a collection of short stories. And what I said in my TBR video is I'm not going to hold, so like if certain stories just aren't vibing with me, I'll just skip to the next one. So it should be a pretty quick read, and it's an American edition, so it is chunkier than others, but it's not too many pages. It's only like 40 pages, so it's not a massive one. So that's my top priority because it comes up the most. Next we have Restoration, which is healers, so this is going to hurt. I do have somewhere the CD of the audiobook of this, so if I don't prioritise this one until the end of the week, it's not the end of the world, because I'll just listen to it as an audiobook and still count it. Then we have my 2 shortest reads, which is Bloodshot Monochrome and Teen Titans Beast Boy Loves Raven. Those I can easily get done in an afternoon, and Lizzie is doing sprints this evening, so I could just try and tick off as many of these as possible in those sprints, and that would give me a head start, because the other one is Inscription, and I have been reading this since August of last year and I just don't pick it up. And it's not even that I'm not enjoying it, I just have other things that I wanted to read, and when I do read it I get through like large chunks of it, like 30 pages at a time kind of thing, but I just don't pick it up often enough. I have until the end of April, the end of Orilium, to finish this. Otherwise I have to unhaul it, and as I said in my TBR, it equates to 3 books. It's a 3-book bind up. It's as big as 2 books. I need more space on my shelves so that I can buy new things, so I need to just kind of clear it. But then this is the other one that I might do for sprints later, so that I can give myself a head start. This I'm not expecting to finish this week, right? I'm hoping to have it so that I can read it over the 4 weeks, but it's starting in my first week because where it's my chunkiest one, and it comes up I think 6 times. Inscription comes up like for 6 different callings. I need to tick it off, otherwise I'm going to struggle. But once I've cleared some of these, I might add some more to my TBR, or just really try and focus on this if I'm taking too long to get to it. It is, well, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, so I'm gonna go make myself a cup of tea and then I'm going to read, because I don't work on Fridays as hard as I work other days, because I start my day with a business meeting that is exhausting because it starts at 6 o'clock in the morning, so there's no point me trying to like overdo it. So I will probably read for a little bit, have a cup of tea, have some lunch, and then I will catch up with you once I have read something. Okay, so it's Thursday morning, and I thought I would just catch you up with my reading and kind of clarify some of the books that I have read this week, specifically for Orilium, and some of the others that have kind of taken a nosedive. So let's start with the really, really bad one. It has been a week and I have not picked this up once, and the more I think about it, the less I want to pick it up. And it's such a shame, because it's not even that I'm not enjoying this, but it's almost like that now. I picked it up initially because back in like August of last year, I was like, well, I've got all fucking year to read it. And then I didn't. I read, I think it's something like 180 pages, 148 pages over 6 or 7 months. And now that there's this pressure to get it finished, I know I could do it. If I actually read, I only have to read something like 23 pages a day to get this done. And I just don't care enough about it. And like I said, it's not even that I'm not enjoying it. It's just that there are other things here that I was more excited about and I just never picked it up. And now that I only have 3 weeks and I'm spending a weekend away, I'm spending a few weekends away, I just don't know that I'm going to pick this up. I don't know if it's worth just basically saying no, Incantations is just not going to happen and my intimidating read is just not going to happen, or whether I swap it for something else, which I don't think you're supposed to do, but I'm going to have a sneaky look because I know that the House of Arcane can do certain things, so I'm going to check, but I may just be. And then once I'll unhaul it, because let's be honest, it would just take up so much space on my shelves and it's just not as compelling as the Cruel Prince series. Now the Cruel Prince series is like easy to read, right? And I finished 2 out of the 3 books in a day, basically, which is not like me. I'm not a fast reader and I have a very short attention span. So if these were like separate books, maybe I'd be like, okay, well, I'm actually like 2/3 of the way through the first one, so that's fine, but I'm not. It's still got like 600 pages to go. And and the thing is, there's no audiobook, right? So it's not even like I can catch up later. So it is what it is. And I haven't made a decision yet. You can see that I'm still umming and ahhing about it, but I just don't think I'm going to pick this up. And it cuts out maybe half the careers that I could have if I don't read my intimidating read. So, but if I am able to swap it, I will swap it for this one, which I did finish, which is Wolf Hall. This I read and did as an audiobook alongside, and I initially picked it up last month for the Buzzword readathon, which I think I'm going to stop doing now because I've done one, missed one, done one, missed one, and like I haven't even picked a book for this month's prompt, so I think I've committed to too much and this just isn't working for me. But it was a great excuse to tick off a TBR vet, so now I can buy myself another book, which I love. But this was just kind of fine. I'm going to probably wrap it up properly in my potluck wrap up, so I'm not going to give away too much. But basically, because this is like 638 pages, if I can swap, I will swap it for this because I did this in a week, reading and doing the audiobook alongside. So that was one that I did finish this week. I also finished Bloodshot Monochrome, which was the Elemental Studies short read. Now this is a collection of poetry that kind of sits in multiple parts, and there's like a collection of poems for each part, and I think that is the thing that kind of bothered me about it. As a poetry collection, it didn't feel particularly cohesive. It felt like, you know, when you read a collection of short stories, which I will get to in a second, and you have to kind of judge each collection on their own merit. That's kind of how I felt with this one, and it kind of rounded out at a 3 stars because there were some poems in this that I thought were so clever and so beautifully crafted, and others that I was just like, I feel like this is just filler. This is the interlude to the next section. So at least that is one prompt officially done. Another audiobook that I finished this week that had nothing to do with Magical Readathon, but I just thought I'd let you know, is the Mercies for Lamentable Library. This was February's pick, so I only just finished it in the first week of April. I'm going to blame it on... No, was it February's pick? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was, because I haven't done Marches yet, which is Anne Dressed in Blood, so we're doing really well. I've got 2 books to catch up on that, but I just wasn't feeling like reading it in Feb, and then in March I got COVID. So I finally finished that, really enjoyed that, and you should definitely check out our Elemental Library lives because they're a good time. I've also got this one that I committed to finishing this week coming, because we had the Dead Famous, Skullduggery Dead Famous live stream last Saturday, and now we're having another one next Saturday so that we can do this just in time, because the week after that Until the End comes out, which is the final book in the Dead Famous series. And although I was going to like chunk them out month by month, because so much happens in the last book and so much happens in this book, and 2 of my co-hosts have already finished it because they are on time and I'm the one that's not on time, we're going to skip ahead and do one next week and then do and then so like there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I need to finish this in 2 weeks so that I can then do Grimoire the week after, and then Until the End the week after that. So lots and lots of skullduggery. So I'm heading down to Folkestone today which I will talk about in a sec. So I'm going to be doing this as an audiobook alongside, I was reading it, but I'm doing the audiobook as well because it just helps pick up the pace, and I've got a 3-hour drive, so that's what I was doing there. I'm halfway through A Tyranny of Petticoats, and this is the spells, that might be spells and incantations. I think it's inscription. I got the other one wrong. The other one was inscription. Spells and Incantations was a collection of short stories or essays. I am enjoying this, but some of the stories are just so much better than others, and I know that when it comes to actually reviewing this at the end, it's going to be really hard. Some of these are so very typically YA, so if you enjoy like a YA Americanized story, then definitely pick this up because it's a lot of little bites of those things. But the first story kind of like lured me to a false sense of security that they were going to be really like mature and sad, and the first two were really sad, and I do enjoy a sad story, and I like a sad story in a small dose. But it's really interesting that everyone who's gone, I need to write an American story because that's the prompt for this collection of stories, has gone, oh, and Americans are awful. So that's interesting. So yeah, I'm halfway through. I'm on short story 8 of 15. So I will probably get this done over the next week, but I'm not going to take this to Disneyland with me. I'm only taking one book to Disneyland with me, and that is Shadow in the Glass. Now, this is the book that I've picked for demonology. It is also the book that I hinted at in both my TBR for Orilium and my normal TBR, because this is the Lunar Book Club pick. And this is basically where on my Discord, I get people to pick the genre they want to read a book of for that month. Then I pick a new release that's come out as a paperback, and we all kind of read it and chat in the Discord, etc. And usually, sometimes I've just not been able to source them where I wanted to, you get a little bookmark that goes with your cover. So I'm just going to take this because this is a Victorian Gothic Cinderella retelling. And what I want to happen is to meet Cinderella and go, hi, this is a Cinderella retelling, but like spooky and Gothic. And I just want to see what she does. I want to see what she does with that. Not to like bully the actress, but just to kind of see, because like they must get told so much random shit in a day. I just kind of want to see what her reaction will be. If I don't see Cinderella, I'll be very sad. But Lizzie asked me yesterday who my favourite Disney princess is. And I said Snow White. And I was trying to work out why, because not a lot happens in that narrative. And then I was like, oh, because it's fucking terrifying. Like, it's genuinely spooky. When she's running through the woods and stuff, like, that's genuinely terrifying. And that's the kind of kid that I am. So I'm hoping this is like genuinely like Gothic, because that's what I'm in the mood for. So I'm only taking these two with me to Folkestone, and I'm only taking this one with me to Disney, because at the end of the day, how much reading is one supposed to get done at a theme park? Yeah, so for context, I'm driving down today to stay overnight because we've got to leave super fucking early. We have to be at St Pancras for like 8 in the morning, which means leaving Folkestone at like 6, 7 in the morning, which means getting up at 5. I hate that. Anyway, so there's loads of things. Got to get up early, and then thankfully our train is straight to Disneyland. We don't have to stop and get off anywhere or change trains or anything like that. And then we'll get to spend all day at Disneyland, and then I get all day Saturday in Disneyland, and then we get most of Sunday morning in Disneyland, and then around 2 o'clock-ish I will be back on the train with my mum and heading back to Folkestone, and then I will come home Monday. Olivia has reading sprints on her channel on Monday, so I'm hoping that I will be back in time from that. If I'm too tired, I will just probably stream from Folkestone. I will take my laptop just in case. But yeah, so I'm really excited. I'm really excited to do that. But I suppose next time I catch up with you, it will be before I leave for Disney. So I'll see you there. Good morning. So it is Saturday. We have been at Disneyland for a whole, I'm trying to do maths, this is stupid. We've been here for like a day, but not really, because we got here at lunchtime yesterday. And we've had a really good time. We've had a really good time. It has rained consistently since we got here.
Actually, that's not true. It rained inconsistently. Sometimes it was pouring, sometimes it was just a light drizzle, then it was pouring again, then it snowed, then it rained again. But we did go on a couple of rides yesterday and kind of had a mill around and kind of reminisced about the last time we were here when I was like 6 years old. So that was fun. Didn't cry on the Pirates of the Caribbean rides, which is important because when I was a kid, there are like kittens on a barrel bit that I thought were hyper realistic, and they cry because they're like struggling on these barrels and drowning, right? And they're not like drowning, but like it really got me as a kid, and I cried, and I tried to like hide it from my parents that I was crying, but it was obviously very much sad, and they thought I was just scared of the ride, but it was specifically that thing. Didn't cry this time. Looked at the cats and thought, I don't know why I thought those were real. Other than I was a child. So at least now I know that as a 30-year-old, that's not going to be an issue. I'm not scared for fake cats anymore. Nearly cried at dinner over a real cat though. Not going to go into it. But we also went on the Haunted Mansion ride, which they have updated. Because I remember when I was younger, there were like lots of ghosts, and it was kind of like an ambivalent story kind of thing. Whereas now there is definitely a vibe of like Miss Havisham may have killed her husband, or her husband may have been death, kind of thing. It's creepy. Loved it. You're right. I just had something fall over, and I hope it's not my mother. I'm hoping it's just that she's dropped something. Anyway. I can't hear movement. Should I be concerned? I think I should be concerned. Anyway, some more clips from today probably, and then just to kind of clarify, I've started this. I'm only like 18 pages in. It feels very YA, and there's like a lot of preamble, which you do sometimes get in Gothic, but I think I was expecting this to be not adult. I wasn't expecting this to be adult. I was expecting it to be YA, but maybe not quite so. The main character is such a waif, like she's a real struggler, so I'm waiting for her to start making those spooky Gothic choices, and yeah, I'll catch you up again in a bit.
light-year mission log. Standing on a strange planet, I am observing signs of intelligent life. Greetings. I come in peace.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a gremlin are you going to be in the background?
No promises. Don't something stupid. I'm gonna.
I think I'm going to say something that's going to shock you. I think it's going to shake you to your core.
Okay.
So when I caught up with you last, I was in Disney. I hadn't finished a couple of books, so I'm just going to run through the books that I have finished since we got back from Disney. It is now Friday, so the blog will be going up later today, and I'm going to edit and sort out whatever mess that is. So I finished Dead or Alive. The live show for this book is tomorrow at 3:30 over on my channel. Not going to tell you anything more about this one because I want you to turn up to the live show because this is a trip. Then I also finished Grimoire, where the live show is going to be next Saturday, and then Until the End is going to be next week. Now, I did say in the last clip that I was considering swapping a particular book out and taking it off my TBR. This was my intimidating read, and I have not picked it up for 2 weeks. I have 2 weeks to read the rest of this, and I just don't care about it enough to pick it up. This is intimidating for very different reasons, and Lizzie put this in their TBR as their intimidating read because where it is the grand finale of a series that we have been reading for over a year now, that's very intimidating.
Yeah, boy.
So I am swapping this read for this one, and to show my commitment to it,
Oh my god!
that's it. I'm going to unhaul that because I was really excited to read the modern fairy tales, but I just don't care enough about them. They're not working for me the same way the Cruel Prince did. So we're swapping this one out. So adding this one to my TBR for the week moving forwards. Other books that I finished that actually hit prompts for the vlog that you're watching. We had A Tyranny of Petticoats, which was Spells and Incantations, a collection of short stories. Overall, I did really enjoy this. Obviously, there's a lot about American history in this, and as someone who isn't taught American history at school, the stuff that I knew through pop culture, so it was really interesting seeing different perspectives. There are BIPOC authors and LGBT authors in this collection, so that's really fun, and it definitely has me more intrigued for the other Jessica Spotswood one that I have, which is Toil and Trouble, which is all about witches and stuff. What I especially appreciated is at the end of every story, there is a little author's note that talks about why they chose that specific era or person of history to write about, and that for me was kind of what got it to its 3 stars, because some of the stories I loved and some of them I just found really dull, but the author's notes were all really interesting and they helped balance it out, because I could see that even though I didn't necessarily care about those characters, those people, or those moments, they are really poignant to the authors that wrote the stories, and that's really important. So I really enjoyed this, and I will be keeping this, even though usually I don't keep anything under 3 stars, because I would like to be able to read those stories again individually and kind of just have a little moment, because I obviously tried to rush through really quickly for this week. And the other one was Teen Titans, Beast Boy Loves Raven, which was for Alchemy, a book that has romance in it, or features romance. And obviously it says loves Raven in this. This is so fucking cute because they are 2 little angsty teens dealing with their trauma. It is the 3rd one in the Teen Titans graphic novel series, and Robin is the 4th one, which I think comes out this summer or has come out already. And there's even like a little bit of romance between Robin and another character that we meet in the 1st volume. So that was really cute. They're all like partnering up, and it was just generally adorable. So I really, really liked this. I gave this 4 stars as well. And it was just, yeah, as a graphic novel goes, it's just really cute, really cute. So I will also talk you through the 2 that I have started that I'll be carrying over to the next vlog. First one is Gallant. This I'm buddy reading, and I don't think I actually put it in for a magical readathon pick, but I do think it's a pick from my racing stacks, so I will need to double check on that one. But I'm buddy reading this with Ali over at Chaotic Ali, and I promised myself I wouldn't read any more V. Schwab. I'm really hoping this is the last time I have to, because I'm 1 chapter in and I just don't care. And then the other one that I've started is Shadow in the Glass, which is for the demonology prompt, which has the word shadow in the title, and this was also the Lunar book club pick. It was hard. That's 65 pages. That's chapter 1. So if you don't care about something early on, it's tricky. And this is very much Cinderella meets Dr. Faustus. And if you're not familiar with Dr. Faustus, it's a play where, I think it's one of those ones where you'll probably know it even if you don't know that it's called Dr. Faustus. It's the one where the doctor basically summons a demon and his life falls apart. That is this. And I'm really intrigued because the demon has just rocked up. So I feel like shenanigans are going to start happening. And yeah, so that's another one that I'm hoping to finish this week. And then the two that I am starting at the beginning of the next vlog, and I will kind of carry on like describing in that next one, is going to be Fire Study, which is a light source, which is, which one is light source? Conjuration. And then the other one is Take a Hint, Danny Brown, which was the Earth setting, which is Artificery. Artificery? One of those.
Artificery.
Artificery.
I don't even know if that's right.
I don't know either. But yeah, so lots of things moving around, but actually I'm quite excited to get to those two. And I'm just really proud of myself that in this week alone, I have read more books than I read in March. I also got sunburn. That's why I'm sat at this angle, and that's why here looks particularly pink and up here looks particularly pink. I look like I've been skiing because here's fine. So it looks like I've had my goggles on, but I didn't. It was just sunglasses. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this absolute mess, absolute carnage of a vlog. And don't forget to, like, you know, treat yourself from Waypoint. It supports me and my content. Other than that, have a nice day.
Whoa, this canyon is so beautiful and calm. Seulement en avant.
Vous devriez tous venir ici faire un brin de toilette. Rien ne vaut un bon vieux lavage naturel à l'ancienne. Ah, un bon bain chaud.